Today on episode 88, our Patrick Kane episode of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, our DOM Frederic interview, the TCF Sports Minute, our NFL Pick Show, and the first ever TCF Top 5 Thanksgiving edition. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 88 of Typical Chicago Fans, the Patrick Kane, Daddy Patrick Kane now, his episode of Typical Chicago Fans. It's me, your boy Boomy, on Twitter at BoomyTCF. Make sure to follow the main page at Typical_Chicago. Facebook and Instagram, head there, type in Typical Chicago Fans, give those pages a like and a follow. Head over to YouTube, subscribe to our page there for all of our content in video form. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review on Apple Podcasts, follow on Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We are on there. Make sure to follow the guys that I'm joined with tonight, Zach at ZLiliaTCF, and, of course, Maddie at schools_01. Our podcast today is brought to you by our friends over at 26shirts.com Chicago. Head on over to their website, 26shirts.com/Chicago, to check out the coolest sports merchandise in Chicago. They've got everything from shirts, hats, hoodies, flags. I got one right here behind me. They're some of the best fitting t-shirts I've ever owned. But like I said, head over to their website, use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off your order. If you love our show, love great Chicago merch, and love companies that help out the community, head over to 26shirts.com/Chicago to pick up some gear. Use promo code Typical Chicago Fans, 15% off, and get your Christmas shopping done nice and early. Get them a shirt they'll love, I guarantee it. Boys, episode 88, how we feeling?
We just got done with the DOM Frederic interview, so I'm amped up. I'm ready to go. He got us pumped up like he always does. That'll be coming up later in the show. Make sure you listen to that. But good, I got the juices flowing.
Absolutely. I always feel like I love, obviously, that Dom comes on, but it would be so much more beneficial to talk to him in the morning, because that is better than anything a cup of coffee or an energy drink could do. Get some Dom running through your veins. I'm ready to go too, man. I'm ready to run through that concrete wall right in front of me.
Concrete is thicker than water.
Yeah, yes. Maddie, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing well. This was a fun interview. Had a lot of good sound bites. I think everyone's going to enjoy it. He brought a lot of energy, as he always does, and I think everyone's going to like it. Like I said,
especially after the week we had in sports,
especially the year we've had in 2020. Let's get a little bit of fun spread around here.
Can I not? I hate to be this, but can I go right into my sinker?
Yes, sir. As always, sinkers and floaters.
Sinkers and floaters. My sinker, my sports week, had the Bears lose ugly on Monday night. Ugly, just awful game. It's just nothing looking good for the future. Next day, Theo Epstein leaves. Theo Epstein resigns. Did not really expect that to happen right then. But then we had the draft, which it didn't really hurt anything. I think that they made the right choice. I think if you really kind of look at it, I think Obi Toppin would have been the Garpax move. And this is actually maybe going to be the right move. That's how I'm thinking about it right now.
I love the optimism, Big Z.
But the sports week, the Bears, not good right now. And then the Cubs losing. Like I said, I have a little bit of a Theo story. I was in New York at the Mets game, and I sat there for I had that little. It's literally like a 2-second video. I tell him, Theo, it's your league, and he kind of points and waves or whatever. I stood there for at least 50 minutes, I think, waiting for him to finally go down in the dugout. But
just to be present.
Yeah, just to be in his presence. He seemed like a nice guy, and like Dom will talk about. He always when he talks, people listen. But yeah, unfortunately, my sports teams are not doing very well right now.
My sinker, on the other hand, is a man named Fernando Bardicia. I probably did not pronounce that right, but he is a cop in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and he has been charged with stealing $1,300 worth of goods from Home Depot while wearing his cop uniform. And if you know anything about cop uniforms, they have their name usually on the on the badge or on a something on their uniform. Very easy to spot. This cop just walks in, takes $1,300 worth of stuff, and walks on out. So yeah, I don't know what this guy was thinking, but he's been charged and is possibly looking at some jail time for theft in Puerto Rico. So he's my sinker.
Boys, I'm walking into a little bit of a hornet's nest, I think, with my sinker. I put a poll out to hopefully, reassure myself that I was on the right track today. I put the poll up 10 hours ago, and all it was leftover pizza, ? Yes or no. My sinker is leftover pizza. And
What is
I'm of the 4% on that side of the poll. 4%.
What do you have against
You've never been more wrong, Maddie. Never been more wrong. I'll even eat cold leftover pizza.
See, no, that's the only. If I'm going to, that's the only way to do it, because here's why. There's no good way to do it under 15 minutes for a piece. And here's my take on this. On a reheat?
Yeah,
you can. If you're dedicated.
See, but that's a time waste. See, here's my thing. Is the only way to reheat leftover pizza.
Oh, wait, you just order a new pizza, money bags?
No. There's a way to do it. It just takes too long. And it's a cast iron skillet with a little bit of water. You warm up the bottom and you get it really hot. Then you nuke it for like 35 seconds after that. And that is actually the best way to do it. Yeah. No, $30, dude. Come on.
We're trying to save time here, but let's get the skillet out. We're trying to save time.
That's my point. So, in that same amount of time frame of getting a skillet hot, I could throw a frozen pizza in, and I can tell you right now, I will take a good frozen pizza over leftover pizza any day of the week.
I do agree with you there.
Oh no, duh.
I'm telling you, if you and then when you over order pizza, because that's what everybody does. It's a Friday night. It's a staple in my family. It's a staple in my household growing up. Friday night's pizza night. It's just what we do. A lot of people do other nights for certain things. That's what it's always been for my name. My last name has been Friday night pizza night. And we always get so much.
But not Saturday morning leftover pizza, guy.
I know, but we're always thinking, yeah, we'll have it for lunch on Saturday. We'll have it for lunch on Sunday. Well, we don't, because we have all this other shit. And then by the time Monday comes around, it's literally rubber in the fridge. So now we're sitting 3 days. It's just, I'm out on it. I'm out on it.
Oh, leftover piece. You're going to throw it in the microwave real quick. Maybe on the pizzazz. Boom, eat it real quick.
Fresh out of the store, out of the oven. Out of the freezer, then cooked, whatever. I'm team pizza through and through. Leftover, keep it. I'm done.
That's a hot take.
A bad take is what you say. That
scorching. Bring me the hate.
Bad take.
Bring me the hate. I'm that gif from what is it? Braveheart, where the guy's about to slay like
he's got
5,000 people
sitting there.
Yeah.
Elbo's sitting there in fire.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's Elmo. I don't know.
That takes more align with the gif of the rhino pooping.
Boomy, here we go again. You know what, Boomy?
Talk about that gif.
I'm coming at Boomy. You're on my list again. I was just finally getting past the point of being frustrated.
Got the picks coming up.
Oh boy! All right, Zach, what is your floater this week?
My floater is college or basketball. I'm ready, or just really. I guess anything other than I love football. I love it. But I'm looking for something new sport coming out. You're not stuck with just one sport for a while. But I'm ready for a little college basketball. We didn't get March Madness. We've been talking about hopefully they can get through the season. But I'm excited. Like, there's nothing better than the first day of college basketball when it goes from 9 a.m. to probably 1 or 2 in the morning, like that, especially for guys who like to gamble a little bit. I love college basketball. I feel like that's my favorite sport to gamble on is college basketball.
I'm a big college basketball guy. I will sit on a Saturday morning and watch it from 10 a.m. till 1 a.m. the next day. So I'm with you. I can't wait.
Been in my family forever. That's been like my life.
I'll take
my
pizza.
lifelong.
Like pizza, but not eating
pizza on Fridays and college buckets, dude. That's just what my family did.
Oh man. My floater, on the other hand, is a shillelagh. Because an 81-year-old former Marine from Niles, Illinois, just up the road from Chicago, used a antique Irish walking stick or shillelagh, whatever one, to beat off 3 burglars that had broken into his house. They said that him and his wife were at home. The man broke in, and he just immediately found I guess the closest thing, but it was an antique Irish like walking stick, and he just beat the hell out of these 3 guys, and they finally ran away without taking anything. So shout out to this 81-year-old man, like I said, from Niles, Dan Donovan. So shout out, I believe that's his name. Yeah, Dan Donovan. So shout out Dan.
He's a badass.
Hot seat Boomy's wacky web story. That's 2 back-to-back right there.
Oh, I mean, my life is so consumed with wacky web stories. It's like all I see on my Twitter feed anymore.
Yeah, you got the algorithm sending you down rabbit holes on the daily. All right, my floater, boys, it's a harken back to last week's sinker, and that was selling my truck. You fuckers missed out on $40 and $10 or 10% of the show pot, because my floater is junkyards and selling your vehicle to the junkyard and just being
I did that this summer.
problem. Yeah, just being done with your problem. I took $400 and said, "See you later." So you guys missed out on $40 of the show pot, boys. And I made the call on what? I made the call on Monday. They were there. They offered to come Tuesday, and I said no. I needed them to come Thursday, actually, so it worked out even better for me. But I don't know. It's gone. The problem's off, and yeah. And now I don't have to deal with the general public. And you know how many people fail on auto sales, on private party auto sales? Good God, talk about dealing with like just the dregs of society in most ways.
Yeah.
I may have forgot, but I'm happy you sold it, or you did that.
I can't believe I didn't come up with that idea. I literally did that back in August with our old Navigator.
To all people that who you don't know how much you'll get out of your vehicle, whatever.
Well, and all these random people coming to my house, like with a pandemic going on, it's like, where the hell have they been? You know, I got a little kid. I got, my wife's a nurse, so I don't need to. It's just take the truck. I don't even care anymore. I thought about taking a match to it. I thought that like the insurance would probably pay out more than the $400 I got, but insurance fraud, on the other hand, is probably a dicey situation now too.
Yeah,
you might be away from your family.
No, I don't want to do that.
So,
for sure.
That'd be bad.
Hashtag bad.
Hashtag bad idea.
Yeah. Hashtag my wife would kill me.
Felonies, not the best.
Felonies are a bad look, I think.
Let's jump into it, guys. We have DOM Frederic, our guy. I can't even count how many times he's been on. I think we're around 10, 12. I don't even. Dom came on to talk about.
He did say that we are his favorite podcast to go on, and he goes on a podcast that the center fielder for the Chicago Cubs, Ian Happ, is on. So just so you know.
Just stating things here. Yep.
We gave him the chance to tell us Happ was better too. We even set him up and said, "Well, you outside of Happ, right?"
Matt did. Well, I was just gonna right away.
Yeah, Zach was taking that compliment and running, baby. I love it. I love it. Well, here it is, talking about obviously the loss of Theo Epstein to the organization and what that means for the future. Looking ahead,
positive. Why are we so positive about it?
Booby, real quick, did you just go Canadian on us there with organization? I think you said organization.
Isn't that how it's pronounced?
Isn't it just organization or organization? I think you had a little Canadian hint there. I'm just saying. I liked it. I liked it.
All right. I'll try to mix in some more Canadian accents. With that being said, here's our guy, DOM Frederic. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome back to the podcast, the GOAT of all guests, to the TCF podcast. He's the director of morale for your Chicago Cubs. You've seen him a couple times on the Compound podcast with Zach Short, Dylan Meckes, and his best friend, Ian Happ. You can follow him on IG and Twitter at Dom_Frederic. He's our Dom, director of morale. Ladies and gentlemen, DOM Frederic. Dom, how we doing, my man?
Thanks for having me again for the 20th time. It's great to be back. I'm incredibly happy to be here. You guys are the best. I go I go on a lot of podcasts, and you guys are consistently my favorite. And I'm very thankful to have you all.
Thank you.
If Ian's listening, I appreciate him obviously too. But you guys are the OGs. It's been a while. It's like 2 years running, 3 years.
We're officially
Yeah.
better than a major leaguer, boys.
You are,
That,
hey,
Wow.
man. You
Finally,
guys-
one time in my life.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks,
that
man.
That is awesome. But actually, it's probably the saddest time we've ever had to bring you on the podcast. It's all been pretty good since. Well, I mean, it's not like the saddest, but it is tough news.
Yeah, it's the most surreal. It's just when you boil it down. I've been kind of talking about it all week. I mean, Theo was morale. Theo lit the fire of the the positivity, the the future, the forward thinking perspective that it's going to be better, it's so good to be, all those different types of things came from Theo, because for me, I really trusted in what he was doing. Granted, did he make some mistakes? Absolutely. Did things go awry? Absolutely. But for the most part, he was the greatest employee in Cubs history. He's one of the greatest employees in MLB history. And I was talking to one of my friends today, and I've just been thinking about it to myself. I was like, and if people take this the wrong way, I totally understand. But I think even if like Rizzo left, I don't think I would feel the way I do the fact that Theo is leaving now. I just think it's a bigger, I don't want to say bigger hole, but just it's like a bigger change when the guy who's been leading your organization, putting the foundation in place, building the culture, all these different aspects that he's done for the Chicago Cubs. It's not the same when a player leaves and you get a new first baseman. And that has nothing.
Right.
That's nothing against Theo, but it's just my thoughts, man. I mean, you don't see it that often where a GM, president, whatever it may be, walks out and everyone's like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, the positivity that the fan base has shown Theo, the reverence that people have been talking about Theo with is, pretty incredible. And you don't see that often. I think it has a lot to do with what's been going on with the team the last 10 years. And it's been a sad week, but it's been a week to reflect on how lucky we are to watch his work every single day, and hopefully we can continue to build on that.
And like you said at the beginning of your video, we didn't know how it would really feel until it happened, and then it happened, and then we were all very sad.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't think I would feel this way, but when the news hits that like Theo's, like, there's no more Theo's League. I mean, there is Theo's League, but like Theo's League as a sense of the shtick is done. I mean, Theo's League for me personally, that was the first shirt we put out. That was the first like real thing like I committed to for a shtick, whatever it may be, to kind of like rally people around it. And the fact that he's gone is it's tough news, but again, I'm incredibly thankful, and I'm hoping we can continue to build off what he's done over the 10 years he was here.
So with that being said, Bud, what would you say is Theo's legacy after his 10 illustrious years on the north side? Like, how would you put it into words as to what Theo's legacy in the city of Chicago is going to be?
I mean, I think he's like top 2 greatest executive in Chicago sports history, probably behind Jerry Krause, just because he won 6 championships. Yeah, he's the second best. He's the best in Cubs history. He's the best employee in Cubs history. He's the most impactful employees in MLB history. I'd say for a legacy, he established a culture that hopefully leads to much more winning in the future, and it led to winning while he was there. I think it also, I hope that Jed will learn from Theo's mistakes, because Theo did make mistakes, and hopefully that can be something we build off of in the long term. I think that's something that can absolutely be done, and I'm looking forward for it to happen. But long term, when we think about Theo, it was the change in culture, it was the change in attitude, it was the stopping of the lovable losers, it was all these aspects that we should be grateful for that we didn't have prior to Theo being here. And again, I'm just really thankful. I'm hurt, but at the same time, I feel incredibly lucky to have watched the greatest Cubs employee do his work on a daily basis here in Chicago.
He may be one of the best employees that baseball has ever had.
Absolutely.
And he could be the next commissioner.
That would be awesome.
You know,
That would be awesome.
potentially. I do think though, just when you hear him talk, man, he wants one more bite at the apple. I think he wants one more bite in a new city, and I think for him, I think he wants one more rebuild, and he wants the opportunity to show that he can sustain success. And he even said it. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, I really liked the building of the team, but when it came to the maintenance of it, I wasn't as excited for doing it. And potentially he could view his last stop as a place where he sustain, a true 7-year run where you get to the World Series. You like bookend your time there with a World Series at the beginning, World Series at the end, like kind of in Boston, whatever it may be. But I think he wants another bite at the apple. I he wants to be a commissioner, but we'll see what happens. Whatever he does, he's incredibly talented. Whether he goes into politics, I cannot think of a guy I would want leading the charge and being the face of whatever organization you have. And I think every Chicago Cub fan can attest to that. Whenever Theo took the mic, even if it was like the Addison Russell situation, the Aroldis Chapman situation, he spoke with grace. Whether you agreed with him or not, he explained how he was thinking. He was very forthcoming. He was honest. He took the heat. All these different aspects you want in a leader, and he was the absolute, poster child for that. And I appreciate it so much. And I think I hope a lot of people can see what he brought in those aspects outside of simply the ins and outs of creating a team.
Dom, we can speak at length about the 10 years that Theo had here. I mean, like you said, legendary run. The legacy is gonna speak for itself. But what I'm really concerned about is what does this mean going forward? What's the future for the Cubs? Who's getting dealt? What's your gut feeling on this? What's your magic 8-ball telling you here?
Yeah, so I've purposely tried to stay out of the rumor game because there's a lot going on. Last year was not very fun in terms of the offseason. It just wasn't. And
nope. I
felt like for me, maybe I got sucked in a little too much of like, well, we should trade this guy and that guy, and then people are going to get pissed, whatever it may be. That doesn't mean I don't have an opinion on it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to tweet for every single rumor. In terms of what I think there are guys that are going to be dealt. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris was dealt. That doesn't mean I'm hoping it happens. And
you're being realistic, Dom. You're being realistic.
Exactly. It doesn't mean I'll be jumping for joy, but what it does mean is that if something happens, whether it's a core guy, whether something happens to Schwarber, whatever it is, we've gotten to the point where I will understand it. Am I going to be jumping for joy about it? No. But will I understand it? Yes. And I think that's where a lot of Cubs fans are. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys feel differently, but I feel like I would understand if they made a move to change, diversify, supplement the roster in different ways that show different skill sets that that's different than we've seen before. If it's a Chris Bryant that has to go, if it's a Javi Baez that has to go, that would be tough. But you know what? I understand. You can't have a lineup, and I was even talking to Ian about it in the second episode, and he agreed. I mean, credit to him, man. He agreed. You can't have a consistent lineup where 2, 3, 4, 5, you got guys striking out to 28 to 30%. You can't be successful that way. And you got to be able to diversify the lineup. You got to be able to supplement it. It doesn't mean we can't win with some of the guys on the team, but there has to be instances, and you guys all know, I've talked about it before. Like, if you're going to put the ball in play, you better produce. We've seen Albert Almora, he can put the ball in play, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't get extra bases, if you can't be consistent, if you can't hit the ball in the air, all that stuff that I talked about. But there's times where bases loaded, no outs. I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to be the meatball fan, but you just got to get the ball in play, or at least one of the three guys that are about to come up has to put the ball in play, or has to be able to use a skill set that is critical for that situation. So whether it's you know, the boat being dealt, Chris Bryant, all those guys, whatever it may be, if they're going to supplement the lineup and they have a plan, I will understand it. I'm not going to be jumping up for joy about it, but I'm going to understand it.
You're not going anywhere, that's for
I'm
sure,
not
though.
leaving.
See,
I'm right here, man.
how did the Cubs not hire you, Dom? Because their social media and all the PR and stuff. How do they not hire you when they hear stuff like that?
One day.
One day, it's a slow build, man.
You know what I mean?
You know what?
You just made a rebuild sound good.
To brag about myself. I don't mean to brag about myself, but I've been putting in work for this for 7 years. For 7 years, just slowly built. Do I have the most followers? No, but there's no person out there that has a more loyal and understanding fan base than mine. And you know what? Eventually, someone will finally come around to it. Big leaguers are coming around to it. Ian Happ's coming around to it. Morale athletes are coming around to it. We'll see what happens. I'm open to it. I think I've kind of proven myself that I can actually talk. I think there are a lot of people out there that can't form sentences. No offense, but I can talk, and I can talk about the team. I think you guys have understand that. Consider I've been on your podcast 50 times. If I couldn't talk, you wouldn't keep bringing me on. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll give you a mountaintop to shout from. Man. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen. We're building something here, but I don't know what we're building. I don't know what we're building. We're just stacking just random things, whether it be Schwarber, bad news, morale, whatever it may be. We're building something here, and
keeping it positive.
It's day in, day out. It's all about trying to make people laugh, bring some positivity, trying to make some jokes about the team, whatever it may be. We're just trying to, have people, get a good experience out of it. I don't know. You guys know me. You guys know me pretty well now. I mean, why do you guys follow? You guys, obviously, we have a personal relationship now, but why did you guys start following? Why do you guys continue to follow? You tell me.
Man, and for me personally, it's the fact that all of us have gone through so much as Cubs fan. I mean, we were all there in 2012 with that horrible team, and now there's something to be happy about, and it's good to see someone that that kind of shares that excitement, because I try not to be a Debbie Downer, and sometimes it's hard, but then you always see those positive tweets, and that kind of reminds you, hey, remember in 2012 when we won 54 games or whatever it was? It kind of knocks you back into reality where this is the reality of the situation now. We need to embrace what it is.
Exactly. It puts things into perspective. And I hope, and other people do it too, but I think I always try to put things into perspective. There's always a positive light to be seen. There's always a glass that's half full. And, even if we are going to go into a little rough patch, whatever it may be, I'm not saying that's the case, but we're the Chicago Cubs, man. Dude, you just had the Tampa Bay Rays. They just DFA'd Hunter Renfroe, who hit 5th or 6th for them.
Get on that guy.
World Series lineup.
Murders lefties. Absolutely murders lefties.
Murders
lefties.
I mean, and I understand we're in a pandemic, we're in a recession, whatever it may be, but you're talking about a World Series team who just has to DFA a guy because he had a down year in one spot. These are the Chicago Cubs. We're gonna be back. It's gonna be going again. Theo built the culture and the foundation that Judd is gonna learn from and build off of that. And there's no reason why we shouldn't have a positive attitude or a positive outlook for the future.
And that's why I started following you, and then I really got going with the positivity. You don't really see that, like I said, from the Cubs social media
can be
and PR.
So negative.
It's so negative, and then you show the positivity, and then like I said, when you came on the podcast when we first started, and that just kind of showed you were willing to come on the podcast with some guys who you didn't know if we knew what we were talking about, and then the friendship, and we talked through Twitter and stuff, and you just the first time he came on, we got done with it. We were like, this guy is saying stats that we have no idea what you're even talking about. I
almost ran into a concrete wall after it that first time. I was jacked.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun with you guys, and hopefully I can keep it up. It's a day in, day out thing. I wake up in the morning. I was like, what's the joke going to be today? What's the tweet going to be today? It's I feel like I have a stand-up set every day. I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I feel like it's a stand-up set every day. New jokes, trying new things out, whatever it may be. It's fun.
See, for me though, Dom, I'm going to play the other card here. Is
Okay.
because you're kind of the yin to my yang. Because I'm a cranky old when it comes to Twitter Cubs fan. You know, I grew up in the 80s and the early 90s when the Cubs were not just bad, they were god awful fucking bad. Like they were atrocious bad. They were getting, you know, signing Danny Jackson to free agent contracts and stuff. Mark Grace is your best player. Mark Grace was a fine baseball player. I don't mean to knock that.
Thank you.
But when he's your franchise cornerstone, when other teams are throwing guys like Bonds and, you know, some of the other Griffeys and all the other legends of the 90s, like, you knew we were never going to get those guys until Sosa kind of came onto the map in the late 90s. For me, I like it because I can't always be so cranky and pissed off all the time. I need to get some kind of positivity back on the other side to remind me it's not so bad. Because for me, I'm always looking at the glass, you know, the half empty kind of look at it. So that's what I appreciate on it. Plus, you know, like it seems like certain niche Twitters of, you know, baseball and certain sports, like it's turned so analytical that all you hear is XFIP and WAR and BABIP and barrels and all this. It's just like, dude, I just want to have like a little bit of fun when it comes to sports too. So that's what I appreciate out of it.
Yeah, and thank you. I'm glad you brought that up because like Zach said, I do appreciate those things, but I feel like
absolutely they serve a place.
Yeah, we're getting to a place now where everyone just wants to be so correct and they want to be so objective. It's like, oh, I told you this, and granted, I do that too, but I try to do it in a sense that's funny. And I try to do it in a sense that's endearing. When everyone's ripping on Kyle Schwarber, I'm like, no, this dude is going to be good. I'm sticking by this guy. And even if the Cubs not tender him this year, I'm going to be riding with that dude until he retires because he's a freaking morale athlete. And that, okay, if I'm going to put my foot in the ground and say I was right about Kyle Schwarber, I was right about Ian Happ, I was right about bad news, fine. But everyone now wants to be so objective. So, oh, I told you this, and oh, you can't have an opinion because oh, you're biased, and oh, you're a homer. Whatever. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. I can't say it enough. That is the whole point.
Thank you.
It's like why I don't get frustrated when White Sox fans are so fired up about their team and they're fired up about their young players because you know what? They should be because you're supposed to be excited about your team as a fan. You should be able to come up with whatever sticks, jokes, whatever it may be. And granted,
especially on the climb, though, too. Especially on the climb.
I hear you. Do they chirp a little bit more, you know, at Cubs fans? Fine, whatever. They're little brother. That doesn't matter. The point is that every fan should be excited and should be, you know, should look forward to watching their team play. And if it's biased, if you're a homer, who cares? And it doesn't have to be, everyone doesn't have to be goddamn Jeff Passan and, you know, these analytical writers and Peter Gammons. It's like, just like have fun, make some jokes, and everyone should be fine with it. But for some people, it's like, oh, this dude's so obnoxious. He's so annoying. What, yada, yada, yada. It's like, that's the point, dude. I'm trying to make jokes and have it be a creative outlet for myself and for other people to share along and share their jokes. And that's the whole point.
Don, when's your prospect rankings come out?
I mean, hey, what's the guy's name? What's the outfielder's name? What's
Bijan
Rademacher? The Cubs outfielder, Brennan.
Oh yeah.
I should know this, but
Brennan Davis.
Yes, Brennan Davis.
Yeah.
Brennan Davis. There you go.
I should talk to Dakota about him.
I am excited about Ed Howard. I'm excited about Ed Howard.
Chicago Catholic Leaguer. I mean, you know, we should be excited about all these guys. And listen, man, Jed's gonna get it going. It's Jed's time now. It's Jed's time. He's been kind of, you know, I actually thought it was very interesting. When Theo in his final press conference, he specifically said, over the last year, Jed has really been at the forefront or been more involved than he had been in the past, like the first 5 or 6 years. I thought that was very interesting because, like, Jed was the general manager. Like, he should be in every conversation, right? Like, wouldn't you think? It's kind of a collaborative effort with Theo obviously making the final decision. So there probably is a very good chance that at times Jed may have went a little bit different than Theo. In terms of Theo making the final decision, Jed might have disagreed at times. So I'm excited for Jed to not only, again, build off what Theo has done, but learn from Theo's mistakes. See it firsthand. See the ins and outs. See how hard it is to maintain a championship team like we've seen. And hopefully continue to build from there and, move forward with whatever phase or team, whatever it may be for the Cubs franchise moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about most was, what are we getting in Hoyer, and what do you think that he does well that maybe people don't know about?
That's a great that honestly is a great question. I would say for him, and this potentially could be me having either misinformation or a lack of information, but you are not going to find that many guys who is stepping into a president of baseball operations role. Very similar to David Ross in the sense that he knows the players, he knows what's going on, and he understands the mistakes that have been made throughout this organization over the last 5 years, whether it be truly diving into player development. The fact that they had to overhaul player development last year was not great. That should have been done 3 years prior. The fact that they were making the decisions, drafting these low ceiling, but these, high floor, low ceiling pitchers who didn't throw that hard, and they could just find some guys that could spin it and hit spots, whatever it may be. We saw that doesn't really work because these guys just get teed off in the minor leagues once they get to double and triple A. So he's seen that. We need actual, velocity in the minor leagues, all these different aspects for us to have this, really strong starting rotation. And obviously in the back end of the bullpen, I mean, the fact that the Cubs don't have enough guys that throw 98, 99, 100, 101. When you see the other teams like the White Sox, they have guys throwing 97, 98, all, those big numbers.
Yeah.
So he's seen that firsthand, and there are not a lot of front office executives that have seen the work happen and then, are able to fix those mistakes in the long term. It's often you get a new guy and they make those mistakes and they have to figure it out on their own and they don't know what happened before, whatever it may be. It's just important that everyone understands that with Jed, and obviously he has a ton of experience in his own right. And I think that's probably the biggest thing for me. He's in a unique spot, but in a spot that he can definitely flourish in. And when you're in Chicago and you're going to have one of the higher payrolls in the league, whether it be, maybe not this next year, but in years to come, it's something that you can obviously flourish in, and hopefully he can take advantage of that opportunity.
Absolutely. Don, this question comes from my dad, who's a lifelong Cubs fan, and he wanted me to ask you this. He's retired now, so he's got a lot more time on his hands to read things. The Ricketts family has claimed that they're in a big money hole right now. Do you think that there's any way that saving money on Theo's contract, a tax break in the landmark status changing this week, and the change in size of the minor league, is there any chance that money is going to be used this season on the Cubs in the offseason, picking up players, anything like that?
That's a great question, Boomy. I would not be. So here's what I think. I do not expect major spending, but what I do expect, and I mentioned this in the Compound podcast the last time I was on, we were talking about econ beforehand. When you take demand and demand shifts left and supply shifts right, you're just going to get a decrease in price. And I'm hoping the fact that there's going to be so many guys that are non-tendered, so many guys that get declined club options, all these players that potentially can supplement the Cubs in a way that they haven't seen before or within the last couple of years. Hopefully that can be the way the Cubs spend. Do I think they're going to go? I would love for them to sign Trevor Bauer. Do I think it's going to happen? No. And with what you're saying, Boomy, I mean, hopefully in the long term, the federal landmark status, national monument, whatever you want to call it, it's actually amazing that we get to watch games at a federal landmark and a national monument. It might as well be the Lincoln Memorial. It's literally why it's just different here. Anyways, but hopefully in the future that can go to whether it be in expanding on the payroll. But there were some other things too that I think were very fair and again, for the baseball operations, people don't care, but I do hope that whether it be the workers at Wrigley Field, whether it be the organization is very charitable, but for the people that work there ins and outs, like they should receive a pay raise if the Cubs are going to, get all these tax breaks, which is going to add up to tens, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars every single year. Like, yeah, I hope the people who work there every day get better wages, especially after the pandemic, and they get better benefits, whatever it may be. Hopefully the Cubs and the Ricketts family can help those people out, because we can't forget about that, because who knows when fans are going to be back in the stand. So, Boomy, that's a great question. I'll have to dive into that a little bit more. Do I think there's going to be a lot of spending this upcoming year? No. Do I think there should be critical but very tactical spending? There should be, because there's no reason, even if you make big decisions, if you want to get rid of Chris Bryant, if you want to get rid of whatever it is, NL Central's wide open.
Yeah.
St. Louis Cardinals aren't making any moves. The Reds are going to lose Bauer. The Brewers aren't going to make any moves. Come on. I mean, they're getting rid of guys left and right. The NL Central's wide open, and every single season, let's not forget about this, every single season is sacred. And as a fan, as a player, as a team, you have to take every game like it's the last goddamn game you're going to play. Same with the last goddamn season, because literally we could have played no baseball this year. I mean, come on, let's be honest. And the fact that it even happened was pretty special, and we should all be, appreciative of that. But every season is sacred, and the NL Central is so wide open. And if you're the Cubs, sure, you can make some moves, but don't think that you're going to make this big restart, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. And I don't want to hear from any fan that thinks we just have to totally burn it down to the ground. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's not how it works. It's not you rebuild, you have this competitive window, and then you tank it all back. No, that's not how it works. You try to build something sustainable. You try to build a player development base. You try to build a scouting base where you have consistent talent coming up through the organization on a yearly and annual basis. So I know I just went on a tangent right there, but it is not a just burn it down to the ground. Absolutely not. So I'm looking for tactical spending, smart spending that can actually supplement and diversify the roster in ways we have not seen over the past 2 or 3 years.
Tom, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I'm old, like I said. I've watched the Cubs perpetually rebuild for a long time. It was always a rebuild, and then it was a tear down, and then another one, and then a tear down, and another one.
Absolutely.
And I think you hit the nail on the head when you start talking about rebuild. It doesn't need to be. I'm all in favor. You know what? I'm at the point too. I got the World Series. I saw it. If we need to tear it down and do it again, fine. If that's what Hoyer decides that needs to be done, I'll back him. I'll support it if that's what he feels needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Tell me why, though, a rebuild or rebrand might not be a completely bad thing for the Cubs too, on the flip side.
If you are going to go down that route, if you are going to say, I need to rebuild, I need to rebrand, if you will, I need to totally restart, it's because you see a flaw that cannot be fixed. Because let's be honest with you, Chris Bryant and Javi Baez are not getting the returns that they should probably get long term. It's just not going to happen. They had awful 60-game seasons. Granted, they were 2-month seasons. Hopefully, GMs from other teams can see that. And I don't want people to take this like I want this to happen. But if you are going to go down that route, you are seeing an issue that cannot be fixed. It cannot be fixed. It's like Jed saying, we cannot win with the personnel we have now, whether it be how they project this team to play in the future, or it's just simply the fact that we just have too many guys that strike out, and we just don't have the consistent, whatever it may be. You might look at bad news and say he's at potentially the peak of his career. Now's the time to deal him, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do I subscribe to that type of thinking right now? No. But, again, like I said, leading off the show, whatever move is made, I'm going to understand it. And I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to jump for joy. I'm not going to, tweet all this great stuff out. Yeah. If it's a good move, sure. But I'm not going to just be, excited about it just because they did something. It has to make sense. It has to work. And you know what? People aren't thinking about this a lot. the whole qualifying offer is going to totally change this year. You saw Marcus Stroman take the qualifying offer for the Mets. That's going to absolutely be a thing in the future, especially if the free agency market is suppressed like everyone thinks it's going to be. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of qualifying offers going out after this year. If the Cubs keep a lot of guys, they play pretty well, but the market still hasn't come back to where it needs to be. You never know, man. And you know what? If you're a player and you can take a quick 18 million for 1 year, 19 million, whatever it is, a lot of guys are going to sign up for that, especially in the times we're in right now. I mean, think about Javi. He's probably got to be kicking himself. Chris Bryant kicking himself that he didn't take a long-term extension, whatever it may be, because most likely, I mean, I hate to say it, they're never going to see that money again.
Yeah.
They just won't. Chris Bryant, I hate to say it, is never going to see $200 million. He just won't.
Or 30 a year, probably.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. There's no way. I hate to be that blunt about it, but he's just not. I'm sorry, he's just not. And I believe in the guy. I think long term, I still think he can be a critical piece for the team. Is he an MVP candidate? Is he a Christian Yelich? Is he who's one of the really best? Is he a Freddie Freeman? I'd probably say no, but he's the tier right below that when he's right. And even if he's not right, he's really close to that. So listen, man, I'm looking forward to see what happens, and I trust Jed in whatever decision he makes. And we're just gonna hang in the balance. I'm not gonna over speculate. I'm not gonna tweet out rumors, whatever it may be, because last year was brutal in the offseason. Everyone was pissed off at one another, and I really don't want to do that again.
Well, speaking of the 2021 season, we're going to be going into that with COVID still going on, most likely. So do you think that there's any way that we'll have fans at this national landmark and
Federal landmark?
Oh, yeah, federal landmark.
Yeah.
What will be the difference between 21 and hopefully 20 is hopefully a longer season?
Man, I hope they can play 162 games. I really do. I mean, hopefully we can figure out a vaccine. Probably, I don't know. This topic may be a little too broad or political, whatever you want to call it. I hope we can just get more on the same page as a country, right? And so we can start to move forward with the things we've grown accustomed to. And I don't mean to bring up those aspects of our society right now, but it's true. If we can't come to agreements on simple things like wearing a mask or distancing or trying to keep each other safe in the worst pandemic since the Spanish flu 100 years ago, we have a lot bigger fish to fry than 40,000 coming into the seat. So I hope, Zach, I really do. I think this organization needs it. The fans need it. A lot of people need it for their mental health. Man, you know what? That's one thing I've learned so much about Cubs fans. It's that, and again, I know I said it's just different here, man. You got people here who, I might have talked about it last time I was on this podcast. Maybe it was on a different one, but there are so many people out here that just like, you know what? They aren't going to live anywhere besides a three block radius outside of Wrigley Field, because that's how much it means to them to be around the team, to be around the stadium, to be in that atmosphere that is Cubs baseball. These people that don't make a lot of money, but they save up tooth and nail so they could, pay for the season tickets every year, and they can, change their lifestyle around so they can go to the games, whether it be good games or bad games, whatever it is. And that's important to people, man. And it does, and what I'm trying to say is not, let's just bypass everything and just forget all the safety protocols because people need it for their mental health. We need to be doing both. We need to be keeping people safe, but also doing it for the future where people can get back to their normal lives. So I don't know. I hope that's the case. I really hope we can get fans back in Wrigley. I do think we should have 162 games. Because maybe we have the season pushed back a little bit. Maybe, spring training is a little bit different. Maybe spring training really doesn't happen. It's just a very short spring training, kind of like it was this year, to keep teams safe. But we'll see. I'm excited about it. For next year, and say what you will about Rob Manfred. He shouldn't be the commissioner of Major League Baseball, but somehow, some way, he made this season work, and we should be appreciative of that.
Hey, I'm in favor of one concept that I kind of heard bandied about was like regionalized scheduling.
Yeah.
Getting when you're on a road trip and you just hit as many of those teams in that area as you can, so you're not traveling the longer distances. You can kind of stay in some of the same hotels more, for longer stretches, things like that. I think it's one way to get maximize the amount of games. May have to do some of the 7-inning doubleheaders too, and I didn't hate that.
Yeah,
concept.
I didn't hate that.
I like those. I know it's sacrilegious, for kind of a baseball purist aspect, but I didn't hate that. The 7-inning doubleheader was kind of cool.
I liked it too, and I know, if people feel differently, I understand, but I liked it too. I like the extra inning rule. I was talking to Ian about that. He liked it. It brings a different dynamic to the game. Listen, man, like I understand the baseball purists. I get it. I like the original game too, but there's something. It's fun. You had 9 innings to score, and if you can't do it, we shouldn't have to continue to watch it. It's got to be game on the line, last shot, whatever it is. Like there's a guy on second. All right, get him in. That's fun, and it was a different dynamic that we hadn't seen before. And I love the extra the 7-inning doubleheaders. It was quick, man. Got to get to the point. We got to be able to modernize the game. It's still baseball. It's not like they're hitting it off a tee. It's still baseball.
That would be kind of sweet, though.
Yeah, it's fun. And for all the people, the historical stats, just just shut up. I get it. You want to. I love Sammy Sosa too. He's got the 609 home runs, and hopefully that whatever the record doesn't get broken. If it does, hopefully it's by a cup. But you know what? You're still watching baseball. These guys are getting paid a ton of money, and for one time, can we just be a little bit more progressive in the game? And I thought this year the league did a good job with that, having the DH in the National League, the extra innings, the double headers, whatever it may be.
I wish that would stay.
Relax the social media stuff.
I think it is.
Let people share your product for free.
Relax.
Let people share it, dude.
Dude,
it's unbelievable. Let people share your product. It's insanity.
Oh my God, it's frustrating, and somehow, some way, I feel like I've gotten around it. I don't know how I have. But,
you and Pitching Ninja.
Yeah, somehow I've gotten around it. I actually, on the last video I made, that was the first time I actually looked up like non-copyrighted music, because I was like, I don't want to, whatever, get a strike on the whole deal. You guys understand, but yeah, I don't know. I agree. Yeah, we got to be more progressive in the game. We have to be able to think more of the outside the box ideas. And that, what, that's what Theo was talking about the other day. He was like, I feel like I can really help this organization come up with, or not the organization, the industry come up with ways to modernize the game, to not have, instances where we are striking out 27 times a game, all that type of stuff that makes it more enjoyable for the fans. We'll see. But I think we did make a step in the right direction. Some people might disagree, but I believe the game took a step in the right direction in terms of modernizing it and coming with more progressive ideas.
I got one more, Dom. Recently in our favorite platform of Twitter, an unnamed baseball prospectus contributor said the guy who ended a 108-year World Series drought is a failure.
Yeah.
Can we discuss that sentiment a little bit while we have you here?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Matt. It's that one was mind blowing to me, and you know what? It just ate at me too.
For sure, I'm with you.
That someone can have to say that they're a Cubs fan, to have Wrigley Field in their cover profile photo, whatever it's called, and then have the nerve to say that about Theo Epstein, and then at the same time come back and retweet the "Thank you, Theo" video made in Chicago. Yeah. Are you kidding? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to do that, to say that? The blasphemy that, you know what? And I'm trying. I am trying harder, more than I ever had before, to try to be a little less mean to people. I'm trying to be a little bit more I don't want to say persuasive, but I'm trying to challenge the way I go after people, and I'm not going to try to be as divisive as I maybe was in younger years. But the fact that he had the nerve to do that just showed that was just, I mean, you know what? He might be a nice guy, but that move was just the worst. It was just the worst. The fact that you had the balls to do that and feel like people are going to respect you for that is it's what I don't subscribe to. No Wilbons. I mean, I've been saying it for years. That's just a Wilbon move. It's just a Wilbon move. What a Wilbon is, what a tent is someone who will out of left field and with no basis behind it and have a objectively wrong opinion, criticize a team to no end. But when it's convenient, they will hop back on that bandwagon to show that they were always there, that they were always committed, that they were always dialed in. And those are the Wilbons. Those are the tents. When there's one instance of inconvenience, they fold like a Colorado mountain style tent that you post up in Montana when you're backpacking with your family and your 7-year-olds. That is the stuff that drives me absolutely crazy. It is PTI, it is Michael Wilbon, it is Tony Kornheiser, and I can't stand it. It's things like that for me, it will be always consistent with my Twitter. And you know what, John Greenberg, how soft do you have to be? I
That guy's the worst.
Your own tweet, ripping on Theo's league. He'd been doing it for years. For years, he was ripping on Theo's league. For years.
Got the hat on right now.
In the weeds. I was just sitting in the weeds. I'll say, okay, you keep doing that. Let's see what happens when he leaves. And what happens when he leaves? They write 50 articles about Theo's gone, the Theo era, the legend of Cubs baseball. Shut your mouth. The blasphemy, the convenience to hop from one side to the other is absolutely sickening, and I cannot stand it. And the fact that someone calls you out and you immediately block them is soft. Christian Yelich has thicker skin than you are. I go after that guy nonstop, and you know what? He still hasn't blocked me. Does he have me muted? Maybe, but you know what? That's not the point. The point is that sometimes you got to be able to take a joke. Sometimes you got to be able to take a little criticism. And granted, are there people that I have blocked? Yes, but that was for like actual messed up reasons. People that would not stop just saying very rude things to me. That's when I put the block button on. But the fact that you block someone for simply posting your receipt is absolutely blasphemous. And I cannot stand it. And you know what? I will, until I retire from this goddamn app, from this goddamn social media app, I will always out the Wilbons. And you know what? If they're not going to like it, they're going to have to deal with it because I have a list. I keep my receipts. I don't forget. I don't waver. I don't apologize. I'm sorry. It's just a fact. And if you can't deal with that, if you're going to be that soft, if you're going to be that much of a tent, then get out of my face, and I will call you out for it until the end of time, until I retire. I will do it, and you're just going to have to deal with it because you're wrong. The fact that you're going off on Theo, you're ripping on Theo's league, and then you come back and just say, oh, look, he was one of the greatest execs, and yada, yada, yada. Shut your mouth. The real fans know that you were not sticking up for this team. That's why I hate mainstream media so much. You can tell I'm fired up right now. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand the objective nature that people have to feel like they're going to go on because they're so self-righteous and you can't cheer from the media box. I cannot stand it. And there's people like John Greenberg, Paul Sullivan, Rick Morrissey. The list goes on that just makes my goddamn blood boil. I haven't gone on a rant
it's the Norman Rockwell of baseball. It's the Norman Rockwell of baseball, man.
I just cannot stand it. Zach, you gotta post that rant on Twitter because that was.
I will. And especially with that, his whole basis of his Twitter is he makes a joke about everything.
Yeah, and that
can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Because I say it all the time. I'm a walking receipt. Like
there's
no bigger.
You need to realize this.
I am the walking receipt. And you know what? Like I say Cubs and 4 all the time, Theo's league all the time. Does it backfire? Absolutely. But that's the point. It's not a joke. It's just a mindset. It's just, it's a shtick, whatever it may be. I'm just positive about the team. And the one time that you can't even have the balls. You can't even take your own joke. You can't even take your own receipt. When people do it to you, you just automatically block them. Soft. Christian Yelich has more tougher skin than you do, and it drives me absolutely crazy. It's too bad. There's people like that just can't take any type of heat. Whatever, it is what it is.
They got to hide behind the paywall over there, man.
They got to hide behind the paywall. And, and I'm not even trying to rip on the Athletic. They do a good job.
They do a good job.
The point is that you're going to be that soft. And I wasn't even going at them that hard. I was just pointing out the receipt. That's all it was. Anyways, just tense, man. Will Bonds, man. They're going to be there forever. They're going to be
no off season for Dom.
No off season. No, I've never had an off season. It's 365 days a year, Zach. Dialed in, dude. There's no baseball right now. I'm dialed in. I'm thinking about jokes, chicks. Listen, man. I was telling you before. It's challenging for me to get excited for Chicago Bear football, for college football. I'm dialed into the goddamn Chicago Cubs in my golfing game. That's it. In my golfing
Someone
game.
find me a wall.
That's it, man. That's it.
All I got down here is concrete, so I'm going to make sure I try to stay away from that.
Yeah, I'm in the basement. I'm going to have to go the Kool-Aid man here.
Concrete is thicker than water.
Concrete's thicker than water.
Absolutely right. Beautiful. Well, no matter who's in charge for the Cubs, we're going to put our hard hats on and we're going to follow. So, Dom, keep doing you're doing the Lord's work, man. That's for sure.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, and I cannot thank you all enough for giving me the opportunity to come on here and rant. And I genuinely appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and like I always say, whenever you need me, just let me know. We got to go golfing soon, by the way.
We will go golfing.
We got to do that.
We got to go golfing soon.
Unfortunately, the warm weather is going away.
Dude, Zach, I'm playing tomorrow morning. It's going to be 40 degrees, and I cannot be more excited about it.
That does sound awesome.
Zach, you know where I am right now? Zach,
where are you?
Right now, I'm outside of a driving range right now. I'm sitting in my car. I'm outside of a driving range right now.
The grind is real.
I'm sitting outside of my car at a driving range. And after this, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go hit balls.
Do you sleep?
I try. But not when I have work to do.
Sleep when we're dead. We sleep when we're dead, right, Dom?
Exactly. I have work to do right now.
Hey, man. Make sure that you follow Dom on Twitter and Instagram at Dom_Frederic. Like you said, Black Friday sale coming up. Me and Zach. Matt, do you have any morale shirts? I think you do, don't you?
I've got one. My wife's got two. She's got the nurse one
Wow.
too. She wants the nurse the Heroes one back that you did for Northwestern.
Oh yeah.
Because that's a hospital system she works for too. So that one was big for her.
Yeah, no, I remember you telling me. Yes, thank you again for supporting, guys. You all are the best. Zach, can you send me You need to send me a link or whatever, your address, so I can send you guys.
I will do that. I will do that right after we get done with this.
You do that already?
I will do it.
All right, because I've been saying this for a while.
I'll try and not move.
Oh, yeah, because you moved. You got a house.
Well, make sure that you follow him. I don't know if you're not following Dom on Twitter by now. I don't know what you're doing with your life, but at Dom_Frederic, Twitter and Instagram. As always, Dom, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. The microphone is always open, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. It's always fun. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, as always, to our guy Dom at Dom_Frederic on Twitter and Instagram. Absolutely riveting stuff, as always.
This man is grinding at, I think he said it was like a golf range kind of place, but also had like a par 3 under the lights. And it's like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we asked him, or Matt asked him if he sleeps. I'm not convinced the man sleeps, but he
tries. He tries.
Yeah.
You know, guys. One of our favorite shows mutually is Pardon My Take, and they do the takeys every year for the Blake of the year for their favorite Blake of favorite guest. There's zero competition for the TCF awards for number one guest. I mean, the absolute, like you mentioned it, Boomy, the GOAT guest for TCF, bar none. Just so gracious with his time too. Gives us as much time as you know. He'll go for hours if we want it. So thank you very much for coming back on.
When you need me, and it's like you said, he's with the compound. He's on the compound now, and he's getting friends with Ian Happ and this and that. And he's still like at a golf range on a Friday night and willing to come on our podcast. And it's always been, what can I do? When can I come on?
And outside of the Cubs and everything, and all of who he is, just a good person, just a good dude, fun to talk to, and just really relatable, man. It's always a good time to talk to him.
100%. He is the man. Like I said, thank you to Dom for coming on. We might have to name, our award after him, just so that some other guests might be able to win.
The Dom.
Yeah.
The annual Doms. That's our awards. We give out
all right.
Doms to
There
people.
it is. There it is. Let's move into the TCF Sports Minute. We're going to keep this quick, like we've said in the past, because Monday, Tuesday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we drop a daily show where all we really do is talk about sports and wacky web stories that have consumed my life. So got a couple things we haven't talked about on the daily show. If you've missed any of our daily shows, go to YouTube, watch them there, listen to them, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find them. They're all on there. So let's jump into it. We haven't talked about it. The Bulls on Wednesday night selected Patrick Williams out of Florida State with the number 4 pick. At first, I hated it. I'm starting to come around on it.
Well, the big thing was he was the 6th man on that team, but that was a good team. That wasn't. They were going to probably be.
Coach said that like he preferred his energy and his skill set coming off the bench. I mean, the guy did play 29 minutes a game, I think.
Yeah,
he was 4th in minutes on the team.
Yeah,
4th in minutes. Be a 3 seed, I think, if they were in the tournament.
Yeah, at the lowest, they were in the top 10 in points last year. So
Florida State was outstanding last year.
Youngest guy in the draft.
Yeah, 19 years old. I mean, it was funny because it was by the time he's up for his contract, he'll be the same age Obi Toppin is.
Yeah,
and that's not to rip on Toppin. I'm a big fan of him.
No, but that's a good point. That's a good point.
This is not a flip the switch, ready to roll superstar, but he's got the skill set. Don't forget, and I'm not trying to compare him to Giannis, but Giannis wasn't a refined, ready to roll superstar right out of the package. He was raw. He had freakish athletic skills, and he had drive and was a good defender. And that was what he was known for coming into the draft. And that's all you can say about Patrick Williams, too. And I'm not saying he's got the 7-foot frame and the freakishly long arms, but he's got some of those same tangible skills. And it's the athleticism. He doesn't quit. It sounds like he's a really good kid, and is constant motor is at 100%.
Yep.
You can work with that early on, so you can get on the floor when you're playing good defense, even if your offensive game needs work. So then you can refine this kid and improve him on the floor as opposed to making him sit or play in the G League. So I don't hate it. I think if you're going to go with a project, this is the type of project to make and take on.
And especially with the changes in the coaching staff, all basically top to bottom in the coaching staff, the player development side, this is a great opportunity for a kid who is a freak of an athlete to learn under some coaches that know what they're doing. It's nice to see.
You absolutely nailed that. This is what this front office does. They develop talent, they seek talent and develop talent. And that's what they do, and that's their mission. And you're spot on when you said that.
But I think the best move the Bulls have made all week is they found another team that was willing to let Cristiano Felicio play for them. That was awfully nice that some other team, other than the Bulls, that Cristiano Felicio
has a lot of money.
He stinks.
Has a lot of money.
Is that the best contract an athlete has ever signed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, he is. He should be in jail for armed robbery.
He was laughing as he signed it. They really just gave me this?
Is this a typo?
Are you
that
sure?
hero supposed to be there? It's
he was the first guy to go sign a contract, and he's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, he asked the front office if this was correct. For sure. But speaking of the NBA, we may be dabbling in some fantasy basketball in the NBA. One of our longtime listeners, Nick Gons, gave us the idea. So we might be starting that off. If you have any interest in joining the TCF NBA fantasy basketball, shoot us a DM, and we're hoping to get it set up right around the middle of December. We'd love to have at least 8 people. Matt, you're in it. You don't really have a choice. We didn't even ask. So we at least have 4. We need 4 more people.
Yeah, because the first game, I think, is December 22nd.
Yep. So we're going to try and do the draft the week before, somewhere around there.
So we got a little bit of time. There will be money involved. There has to be.
There has to be.
So great idea from Nick Gons.
Shout out, Nick. One story I want to touch on here. I heard a rumor that the Washington football team may not change their nickname. Do you guys think that that's something they should just stay the Washington football team, or
I kind of like it.
I don't hate it.
I like it, and it was funny too because I can't remember what website I was on, but it was like just a score website, box scores and shit like that, and it said, it would say Seahawks or Bills, it wouldn't say the city, and for them it just says football club, and I think that's absolutely
awesome.
dynamite.
Yeah.
It's
as long as you're the
dynamite.
only one, do it.
It said football club. I like it. I don't know. I think it's unique. It's cool. Your branding and your marketing can take on so many different ways. You start going the like the European football route,
Yes.
so it's like the FC,
You
just
get
start
like
doing it the
Washington
Washington
the
FC,
only one.
you know what I
That's
mean?
the thing. Like they are the only one.
Yeah.
100%. In another story, apparently Tiger Woods and his son are playing in a tournament together this week. Like, my question for you guys is, how many strokes would Tiger and his son have to give you and your dad for it to be a competitive match?
See, it has to be a lot because Tiger Woods is involved.
I'm thinking like if you're playing best ball, maybe what?
Apparently his kid's like dynamite though too. Like in the youth circuit is like
his kid could beat us.
Guaranteed.
So
I would say if we're playing at a local course that like our home track
50?
that we would say I would need 2 shots. I would want 2 per hole guaranteed bar minimum with certain holes with a third. So I think we're bordering that 50 number.
I love it. And I also, speaking of that, I saw John Daly's son signed to his alma mater at Arkansas this week on National Signing Day. So hopefully little John will see on the tour someday because he hits it.
Pig Suey.
Yeah. If there's 2 guys that scream University of Arkansas, it's Big John.
Oh, baby.
Daly.
Big time.
That is for sure. Let's go ahead and move on to our NFL pick show. It is week 11. I am still in first place at 33-24-2. Matt is in second at 30-28-1. And Zach is in third, not far behind, though, at 27-30-2. Thursday night, we did not put the daily show out because we moved some things around this week. And we all took Arizona. Obviously, we all lost there. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Matt, did you want to start or do you want me to?
You can go first if you want.
All right, I'll get us started off. I'm going to take New England -2. I'm probably falling for the trap here, but New England, I just don't trust anything that Houston does.
I think the rain may have gotten you, Boomy.
You think the rain is the reason that they won the game?
Yeah, I don't think it's the reason they won the game, but I mean, in a rain like that, you it's just not a real game, really.
True,
you know what I mean?
But Baltimore is a much better football team than Houston.
They are a better football team, but I wouldn't say much better.
I don't think Baltimore's that good. I'm going to say it. Baltimore's good.
I don't disagree.
I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. I'm going to say that.
I'm with you there, but they are definitely better than the Texans, and I think
yes.
New England. I just don't see them having a huge problem with the Texans. Do you guys want me to give my second pick in the noon games?
No, I'll go.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna go with the team that you were just talking against, and that was the Titans, who last week struggled against. Who were you just talking about? I just had a blackout moment.
I was talking about New England.
The Patriots, yes. Okay, I'm going with the Titans though, and they're 6.5 point dog against the Baltimore Ravens. And Lamar Jackson's not the same player he was last year. I don't know what it is. He's not the same quarterback. He's not.
It's that offense.
There's something missing, and I thought J.K. Dobbins was going to be a great fit for them, and I think he is. I think he's still producing. I think they need to get him involved more, maybe a little bit more of a feature role than it seems like he's been. And that defense is extremely talented, but it seems like they just have these breakdowns that you just cannot have at certain times. Bad penalties is what you just don't see from them. And I don't know. Tennessee's the type of team that is going to stay in every game just with Derrick Henry. And, they're getting some help back on defense. They're getting a little healthier in the secondary, too, is key. Where they've really had some problems this year is getting burned in the passing attack. So getting healthier, Derrick Henry, Tannehill playing well. I'm going to take Tennessee plus the 6.5, and that plus 230 seems way too luscious to me to just ignore. So I might probably dabble in the money line on them too.
Don't hate that. Zach, your first noon game.
I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles plus 3. I like that a lot. You know why? Because it doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Because it doesn't make sense. And the Browns, I think they stink.
Yep. Agree 100%. That's my second game. I'm just going to piggyback. Sorry to cut you off, homie, but
Go ahead, buddy.
Philly. I got Philly plus 3.5, wherever you can find them. It's one of those games. It's a must-win for them, especially the loss against the Giants. You can't have it, and they still have a chance to win the division, and they're still the most talented team out there. I think this is a game that they're going to. It's another one I'd probably look at money line too.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's the perfect money line game, Maddie. Perfect.
Yep.
It's a big, kind of prove it game for Cleveland because their offense has been very, very stingy lately. So if they're going to want to, prove anything, they got to do it this week. And I'll be honest, I'm with you guys. I don't know if they can. Moving to my second noon game, I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints. I know they're down Drew Brees, but Atlanta just doesn't do anything for me. And I think that Taysom Hill is going to have a good game. And I just think that New Orleans just looks better than we all expected them to look maybe 6 weeks ago. If it was against any other team, I'd probably have something different to say, but Atlanta I think New Orleans is down to -3. I think they're going to win that game by more than a field goal. So I'm going to go New Orleans -3.
I'm going to go with the Lions -2.5. It started out at +1.
Yes.
Something changed, and I think the Panthers stink.
I don't know if you guys just missed me eating a W there, by the way.
You froze on
I was not looking, but we will have to clip that up for sure. But yeah, I like the Lions -2.5. We've seen the Panthers play against the Bears. Not good.
And like if we're looking at what they've done this year, Carolina's going to be in that game, but they're going to lose by like 6 points. So
I think the Lions are.
Is Teddy Bridgewater playing?
I don't know. I know McCaffrey is not.
I don't think. I think there's a chance Teddy doesn't play.
I think Bridgewater.
Great pick.
Yeah. I keep waffling back and forth between two games at 3:00, and I'm gonna switch from what I sent in our message, and I'm gonna go back to the well. I'm gonna go to Green Bay. I think I bought them at 3 actually earlier in the week.
Sorry,
What's that?
Sorry, I gotta go throw up.
I don't blame you.
It's boy, Matty, on the dark side.
I'm sorry, but when they're a full field goal dog against Indianapolis, who's not that good of a team,
what happened? What happened?
I don't know.
Why
That's an overcorrection
-2.5 for the Packers.
It's an overcorrection somehow. I don't know what's going on there, but that seems way off. It's a line I couldn't ignore. When you see Green Bay as a dog, just against it's a team that's not better than them, flat out. It's just the culture, not a better team than them. So even if they're at home, fine, we'll balance it out, we'll make it a pick 'em or whatever. But you're giving the Packers a field goal in a lot of places. Sign me up for that.
Absolutely. Don't hate that. So, Matt, hang on. Was that your? Yeah, that was
my 3:00 game. I originally
set
set you Dallas, but I'm canceling Dallas.
That was probably a good change. They stink too. Zach, go ahead, and give me your 3:00 game.
I am going to there's the rest of the games. I'm going to take the Dolphins -3.5. I love it. It's a 3:00 game, right? Yeah. Dolphins, they're on a roll right now. I think the Broncos aren't that good. And I think the Dolphins are going to keep it rolling. The Dolphins' schedule is looking promising over the next few weeks. I think they might play the Browns. I think they play the NFC East a little bit.
Zach, I'll do you one better because I had that down as well. I have Miami at -3. So we'll go ahead and put that in at -3. Like you said, I just don't know. I don't trust the Broncos. Like they could have a nice one and they could upset, the Dolphins that are kind of rolling right now. But I'm not going to trust that they're going to finally figure it out because they haven't been able to figure it out all year. I'm with you on Miami -3. Let's move to the Sunday night game. We have
Raiders. Raiders +8 at home. I don't know what it is about that place. John Gruden loves playing there. I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders +8. And take the over 57.
I'm going with the
56
Chiefs.
and a
This
half.
is a revenge game. They got embarrassed. It's their only loss at home this year. They're going to beat the Raiders by 2
They lost
touchdowns.
them at home. Imagine them playing them in Vegas.
Doesn't
At that
matter. They're
place?
pissed off. That's their only loss of the year.
Good for them. They're mad.
There's one thing
should've-
I don't like to do, Zach. I don't like to side with Boomy on anything, as you know. I have to. And it's solely because it's Andy Reid off a bye. And Andy Reid off a bye is legendarily good. It's one of those games that I think the Raiders have played so well this season. I think they're a very, very good team. They're way better than I thought they were going to be this year. Definitely going to make the playoffs. It's looking like not going to be an easy out. I don't think there's anybody in the AFC that wants to face them. I can tell you that.
Right.
Like, do you feel good if you're the Ravens facing them? Let's just ask yourself that. The Raiders might be a better version of what you thought the Ravens were going to be. You know, with this running attack, this ground and pound, a little bit of a physical nature. I don't hate the Raiders. I just like the Chiefs a lot in this spot. And if, as long as it stays under 10, I like the Chiefs at home.
Moving to the Monday night game, we have the
I just don't think that's true.
That's all right. Dude, you know I don't want to side with Boom. So it's not like, come on. Let's
and
I'm
you
not
guys,
trying to go against you here.
You might be right. They could win, but maybe not by over a touchdown.
That is true. That is a lot of points, especially in an AFC West game on the top two teams out there. So that'll be, I think that's a good Sunday night game. I like.
Yeah, Gruden prime time is always good too.
Always good, dude. And you get to see that beautiful stadium. So that'll be a fun one at least. Moving to the Monday night game, the Los Angeles Rams travel to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is at -3.5. I'm dumb. I'm fixated. The Rams are like my second favorite team because of my dad and my brother. I'm going Rams +3.5. The inconsistencies scare me a little bit, so I'm going to go with the Rams.
This defense is going to get after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're going to get after the quarterback. And I think that this offense, this Rams team is good. I think this team is.
They have to
for the playoffs.
West, it's not getting easy. I mean, look at Thursday game. They got to compete and they got to stay in that division. And you have to go on the road and beat a Tampa Bay team. Let's roll Rams.
Let's go.
I'm fading, boys. And it all comes down basically to the fact that I feel like whenever you expect the Rams to have a good performance, it feels like they don't. And I don't know. It's one of those times like they're due for another very good performance. It's a good matchup for them. I just think that Tampa Bay, they're starting to show certain signs a little bit. You know, Gronk has been playing better, and I think Brady's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with Bruce Arians and the scheme there. It's one of those. I don't feel great about it, but I'm going to take Tampa.
Maybe they'll
don't feel good about
throwing AB the ball.
Yeah, if he can keep his head on straight.
Yeah, not break security cameras. But that was the Week 11 NFL Pick Show. Make sure that we'll get those tweeted out so you can check those out. Boys, let's move it in. We're going to finish up the show, as always, with a TCF top. Last week was the first ever TCF top 4. Today might be the first ever TCF top 5.
Next week we're gonna have a top 6, and we might go all the way up to top 25. You never know.
We're gonna have like a 7-hour episode because we're gonna have to do top 27 of something. Just get prepared for the ride. So we are doing a Thanksgiving edition. So the parameters to the Thanksgiving draft of the TCF top 5 is you have to have a meat, 2 sides.
Matt just tried talking. Matt, what were you saying when you were muted?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. It won't work now.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. It's just you see Matt talking, and you see his lips moving. You're like, oh, he's muted.
I know. I just saw it too. I started talking, and I saw the muted microphone, and I saw Zach. And I just had to go cover it up.
Whenever I see somebody's lips moving, it's like, oh, he's muted. Sorry, Boomy, not to cut you off there.
You're good. To clarify the parameters, you have to have a meat, 2 sides, a dessert, and a drink. So we'll go ahead and get started. I have decided on a random draw. Zach gets to lead us off this week.
So
it doesn't have to be in any particular order. You can go meat. You can go side.
I don't know how far this will go. I'm going turkey. I'm taking the turkey. I'm taking the turkey. I'm taking all the turkey.
Zach's going staple.
Do you have a preference in the type of turkey? Do you like deep fried turkey? Do you like oven turkey?
Cut up and sitting right there for me to eat.
And hot.
Yes, that is the only preference I have on my turkey.
Well, so I can make sure that this staple doesn't get to him. I'm going to go ham. I think ham is a superior meat. It doesn't dry out the way turkey does. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind turkey, but if you're giving me the choice, you can only eat a plate of ham or a plate of turkey. I'm going to eat the ham.
I'm taking another very hot take.
Well, Matt's got some high class falutin like turducken, probably.
No, see, here's what I'm gonna do. Do I have to go meat, or can I take?
You can do whatever
you guys
you want.
Because now that you took the top two, supposedly, I want to sidebar that ham is absolute trash. By the way, anyway, trash.
You're not. That is.
I'm going.
It is coming from the guy that doesn't eat leftover pizza. So
yeah,
you know what? I'm gonna go with sides. I'm gonna double up on sides too because sides are better than turkey.
I know where this is going.
I'm going mashed potatoes and I'm going with stuffing. And
I'm going with one of a gun.
I'm going 1 and 1A. You guys can have all the dry turkey you want. You can have all the trash ham you want. I get stuffing and potatoes. See you, boys.
Well, you missed out on the best side, and that's mac and cheese because that's what I'm going with.
That was third. That was here too. If one of you took a side first, that was where I was going with mac and cheese. So you're right, Boomy. That's the only right answer.
I gotta do some thinking now. I like a little cheesy potatoes. Can I go cheesy potatoes?
Yes. That's definitely different than mashed potatoes. Absolutely.
And then I'm gonna knock out my other side. I'm going corn. I love some just good old fashioned corn. I don't know why that is like a Thanksgiving.
It shouldn't be. Corn is delicious.
That's what Squanto planted. That's what Squanto planted for the first Thanksgiving. That's why you have to have it.
You can put it in the mashed potatoes and the gravy.
Yeah.
You can get all mixed together.
Yes, all right. Sir.
My third round pick, I'm also going to go to the sides, and I'm going to go with a good dinner roll. There's nothing better than a dinner roll. Take your ham, make a little sandwich out of it. Maybe go a little mashed potatoes, maybe a little mac and cheese for some extra flavor. A good dinner roll goes a long way on that plate.
I may be crazy, but I don't know. Maybe they sell it somewhere. Whatever the butter they give you at Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, that is crack cocaine.
The honey butter.
Oh, cinnamon butter.
Cinnamon butter. That's right. Cinnamon butter.
That stuff is amazing.
All right.
Amazing.
All right. You cast a stone at me a few minutes ago that I'm going to go with some high class, highfalutin meat, Boomy. And I am actually, but it's not going to be what you think. It's going to be one of the prime. Absolutely primo holiday meats. And I kind of started giving it away. Nope, it's prime rib. Good prime rib at any holiday dinner is an absolute bomb alternative. Yeah. A bomb alternative to any turkey, any ham. You get the red meat because you still got the turkey. You get, with same thing with ham. You've got to have a red meat, and prime rib is perfect for a large gathering at a holiday.
That's a wonderful pick, Matt, but I didn't realize we were going to Thanksgiving in the Hamptons.
Hey, you don't know where Matty goes for his Thanksgiving. True. All right, Boomy. Oh, wait.
Nope, Matt. That's a great pick, Matt. I love prime ribs. So.
Prime ribs. It wasn't that highfalutin either.
No, it's really not.
All right, beverage. I'm going alcoholic, boys, and we don't have cranberry sauce on our Thanksgiving dishes here. So I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to go cranberry vodka as my cocktail for Thanksgiving.
What do you guys feel about cranberry sauce?
Yuck.
Yep.
My mother-in-law makes a homemade one, not like the canned one. With actual, it's like almost like a cranberry compote.
No, I love how people go. No, I understand what you do, but you go, oh, you're not going to like this version of it. We'll make it homemade. It must be better.
Yeah, that's usually the case, though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If you don't like it in the first place, you're not going to just like it because
my first thought when you say is the can where it comes out and it looks like it's on the inside of a can. If it's homemade,
that's on you for thinking that.
No, that's on society.
It's on you.
Matt, sorry, what was your pick again?
Cranberry vodka.
Cranberry
No, but
vodka.
I'm gonna say this though, with the cranberry sauce, like I think Boomy's right. I think the first instinct is the can, like with the ribbed sides and everything.
Yeah.
And what's weird is I'm talking about my mother-in-law's homemade cranberry sauce. My wife, whose mother makes this stuff, actually prefers the canned one. Riddle me
Really?
that. Riddle me that. Riddle me that. I don't know.
I
She
don't get
likes
that.
the old school canned weird ass gelatin. I don't know.
I'm gonna take my dessert here, and I'm gonna leave you guys pumpkin pie because I'm just not. I'm staying true to myself. I'm not the biggest pumpkin pie guy. Pecan pie is one of my favorite pies, so I'm gonna go pecan pie.
Well, you're also a dum-dum. I'm going to take pumpkin pie because it's amazing. And then for my drink, you know what? It's at all my Thanksgivings, Busch Light.
I had a feeling that was coming.
And usually Thanksgiving is the day after a night where you usually get a little drunk. You go out with your buddies. That will not be happening this year. So we won't have to be fixing a hangover either on Thanksgiving this year.
You could do a home-induced hangover.
True.
Very
It's
true.
very true.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick. I'm gonna go a little bit different. I'm gonna go with a good either a glass of whiskey or I'm trying to think of the exact name. I'm drawing a blank on it. I'm trying to get into
milk.
Yeah, that would be. That sounds like it's gonna curdle in the glass. What is it? The term where you put like whiskey in a glass, you put some sugar, and then you
Three
put fruit.
fingers.
No, you put like sugar in it, and then there's like orange in it. It's a very basic whiskey.
Oh, an old fashioned.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get into whiskey. Shout out to my brother-in-law Blake. He's a big whiskey guy. I started drinking some old fashions, but if you're gonna do it, I think you got to do it on Thanksgiving. A little wild turkey.
Yeah,
It is good.
shoot fits. All right, boys. I'm gonna go for my dessert. It's probably something no one's ever heard of, but I got to give a shout out to my grandma. Rest in peace. She made a pie for years. Never had a recipe, but every year it was absolutely the most dynamite dessert you could ever have. My mom's tried to replicate it. Is getting close, but it can't just nail what my grandma used to do. But it's called an upside down apple walnut pie.
Oh boy,
That sounds amazing.
My grandma grew up in the South, was raised by a mother from the South, so she took her baking and her cooking very, very seriously. She did that for part of her career as a chef as well. So cooking was a very important part of who she was, and this pie was probably her crown jewel. Thanksgiving was her favorite holiday. She'd make this pie. It's this perfect apple pie with almost. And it wasn't croissant, but it was like almost had that texture of a croissant outside, where it's thin but a little flaky, but not ultra like thin. Upside down apple pie though, and then with a glazed top. It's got chopped up walnuts on there on the top.
God,
I can't explain how good this is.
Can you make this?
Yeah, is there any chance?
My mom is sending me her recipe on it and what she used from learning from my grandma. So I'm gonna give it. I'm giving it a shot this week for Thanksgiving. I'll try to do maybe a video here and there if I can of certain steps. See what we can do. See what it looks like. Maybe give you a final product. Maybe have Maggie do the review because she had my grandma's version. She's also had my mom's version, so then she'll have mine. So she'll see, the run the gamut. We'll give her the fair, independent grading scale. So,
well, Matt, I don't have a whole lot going on this week. Obviously, a lot of plans getting canceled. So
I'll leave one on a window for you. I'll raise the window.
You leave one out, man. I'll come give it an independent.
That'd be a hell of a review.
Me and Zach will load up the truck.
Oh yeah, I'll stand outside for some free.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
That was the other thing. That was the other one. I think you said it, pecan pie, right, Boomy, for yours?
Yep.
Yeah, my grandma used to make a pecan every year.
Oh,
she'd make this apple walnut. She'd make this apple walnut pie, and then she'd do a pecan every year. And it was just dessert hour lasted for probably 2 days.
Man, I was going to try and fast.
R.I.P. Shout out, Grandma.
Not going to happen. Now I'm going to have to go eat something because I think I'm salivating over here. That sounds absolutely incredible.
Is that your last one, or do you have one more?
Nope, I think that's everything.
That was my last one, yeah.
Do we have any honorable mentions? I got a couple. If you guys have any other ones, throw them out. Green bean casserole.
Yeah, green bean casserole is always there. And
sweet potatoes. I like sweet potatoes.
I do. And it's weird. I used to hate sweet potatoes, and now I eat them.
Same grandmother that I
I
was just talking about used to make a banana pudding that was absolute fire too.
We might have to just end this conversation because I'm going to go upstairs and eat everything in my fridge right now.
It was like banana pudding and vanilla wafers was basically all it is. So it's like
it's still probably 10 out of 10.
It was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. You'd feel like your blood sugar going to her Thanksgivings would go up like 100-fold.
Your insulin levels are trying to protect itself because they know they're getting close.
And I think one of you guys brought up a roll too. I think it was that movie as well. The poppin' fresh ones, just the old school, just the little chintzy ones. They throw on a baking sheet, throw in the oven for like 15 minutes. Those things get that little crisp outside and so soft on the inside. My God.
Butter.
It's glorious. I think Maggie and I this year, we're going to try, since we can't do the large get-togethers or anything, we're just going to do our own with us and our kid. And we're going to do stuff throughout the day. So we're going to do like some appetizers in the afternoon. I'm going to deep fry some homemade chicken tenders because it's kids' favorite meal too. And so we can snack on that for football. And then we'll go into the full dinner at night. So we're going to try to do a big thing for the three of us.
There we go.
Let us know via direct message, wherever, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what we missed on the first TCF Top 5 Thanksgiving edition. I'm sure there's some good stuff out there. Maybe your
direct message us, please.
Yeah, hit us up.
Who says direct message?
When I'm cooking on Thursday, if I start any fires, we'll start going live then too on Instagram as well. So
make sure you direct message Boomy.
I'm gonna drive over to your house and punch you.
How old did you just sound there?
Could you send me a PM, please?
Yeah.
This show's over.
Throw me that direct.
Thank you for listening to episode 88 of Typical Chicago Fans, our Patrick Kane episode. Again, shout out to our guy DOM Frederic for coming on. Make sure you follow him at DOM_Frederic. Follow the main page at Typical_Chicago. You can follow me at BoomyTCF. Zach at ZLiliaTCF, and Matt at Schools_01. Head over to the Instagram page, the Facebook page, type in Typical Chicago Fans, give us a like there. Spotify, follow us, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast, Google Podcasts, we're on there too. And then make sure you subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. And head over to our friends over at 26shirts.com/Chicago. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off your order. Get those Christmas orders in now so you'll make sure you have them by December. Great company, help out the community, make great clothes. It's pretty simple. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans, 15% off at 26shirts.com/Chicago. Boys, episode 88. Thank you for joining. We love you all.
Peace.